Hey folks, my name is Tatiana. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Ethereal Entertainer. Today I will be pulling tarot cards for each zodiac sign to see what is in store for all of us for the month of October. I will pull a card for the sun, moon, and rising placements for each sign, so you will be able to sift through my videos to get your personal 3-card spread for October. Very cool stuff. So one reading for you will not be the same as the reading for your friend who happens to be in Aquarius. If you have different sun, moon, and rising placements, y'all will have different readings. So this is going to be a unique experience for you, your friends, share it, all that good stuff. These bracelets I'm wearing are made by yours truly. These are 2 Evil Eye bracelets that are now available on my Etsy shop. They're absolutely gorgeous, so check them out. I do have other colors and other varieties. I also offer big 3 bracelets, customizable, of course. So check that out and let me know what you think. Also, I do have chakra stones laid out to keep everything nice and balanced and ensure that I am pulling cards for everyone's highest good that chooses to watch my videos. So let's talk tarot. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, Scorpio, let's chat. So for your first position, the sun sign, we have the 7 of Cups in reverse. So in the upright position, the 7 of Cups has to do with choices, with thinking about what could be, what's out there for me. Opportunities, you're seeing the cups, but they're in the clouds, so this is about thoughts and what those thoughts feel, what do they evoke for you. So in the reverse position, though, we're talking about overwhelm. We're talking about, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? And it's just, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time figuring out what I want. And maybe you are realizing that you have a lot more talents than you thought. Now you're like, okay, but which direction do I go now? So that is the only way to answer that. The only way to come to a conclusion is to sit and meditate and allow yourself to really think about what it is that you want, but not coming from a place of fear. It's easy to get caught up in the overwhelm, but what if I make this decision, this may go wrong, and if I make this decision, that may go wrong. Try to take a different approach, a different perspective, and think about what can go right and the things that would make you the most happy, that would make you feel the most accomplished, and that you feel the most gratified by. That's the decision that you should be going with, and that's the decision that you should be making. If you're dealing with indecisiveness right now, with overwhelm, that is the best way to deal with that, is to just sit and meditate on it and get away from those feelings of, if this goes wrong, if that goes wrong, if this doesn't work, if that doesn't work. Don't feed into that anymore. 7 of Cups in reverse is saying you're feeding into that a little too much, and it's time to put a stop to that thought process and think about what could be, but in a good way. Flip that card upright, It could also have to do with, you're having a lot of thoughts and feelings, but not necessarily about what could be on the outside. Maybe it's about things on the inside, your personal values, your personal beliefs. Maybe you have learned some information that has rocked your world a little bit, and you're just kind of like, oh, maybe those views, those values don't quite align with me anymore. Maybe I'm kind of over that now, Maybe this is an example I'm using personally. So, growing up as a Christian, I felt that I aligned with Christian views. And then I explored spirituality. And I'm now an agnostic. And it took some time to realize that I had this shift in beliefs that, wasn't what I aligned with before. But now I'm happier, and now I, find a lot more satisfaction in the beliefs that I hold now. So maybe you're going through something like that. Maybe it's about, some things that you do at work or at home. You might have picked up some new information about how you deal with your children or how you deal with your partner, and you're just like, oh, maybe I do want to change my approach, and maybe that's not so bad. You could see it that way too. It doesn't mean that you don't have to see overwhelm when you see this card. You could see personal reflection, personal options rather than options on the outside world, options in, the material realm or in, business endeavors, that kind of thing. These could be options within yourself, exploring and learning and evolving as who you are. So moving on to the moon position, we have the death card in reverse. So I know, the death card it looks very scary, but I promise it's not as bad as you think. The death card is actually a very good card. So the death card, think about metaphorical death of a relationship, death of circumstances, death of a chapter, that kind of thing. That's what this card is really about. So when you see the death in reverse, it's about that happening within. It could be your experience may have experienced or soon to experience an ego death. Maybe you're realizing that there is something about yourself that is changing and evolving, and it's the end of an era. That's not a bad thing, though. That's a good thing. We evolve. That's what we do. We're humans. We don't stay in one place. We don't do well when we, sit and stay in one place. We have to keep growing. And that death card is indicative of, think of a rose. Think of it as a rose. The rose loses its petals, and, it may not look so beautiful. It may not feel so good, but new petals come back when spring comes around. So think of this death card as something like that, not scary or intimidating. That's not what this card is supposed to be about. And maybe you are in the middle of this process, but you might be doing something to stop that from taking place. You might be hindering that change some way. Maybe you're holding on to beliefs and values that don't align with you anymore, and you're prolonging the inevitable, which is that you're changing, you're evolving, you are thinking differently, you believe differently, and it's time to own that. It's time to lean into it and to accept it, because this is part of you growing as a person. And you might be resistant to that change that could actually really be beneficial for you. Maybe it's not within yourself. Maybe you're resistant to some changes in your life. Maybe something, on the outside has happened. Like maybe, you have had a recent job change or changed, locations of where you live or something like that. And you haven't been really warming up to it. The death card in reverse is saying it's time to just ride it out and just accept things for what they are. Stop being so resistant to it, because you're causing yourself to have a not very good time, and it doesn't have to be that way. So sometimes we kind of get a little stuck in our ways, and we get a little stuck in our feelings and the way that we see things, that we don't realize if we just let that perspective go, that we could be a lot happier, that we could get a lot more out of our circumstances. So this is actually a very good card, all in all. As scary as a lot of people think it is, it's not a bad card. It really isn't. So the King of Cups is your ascending position card. This has to do with an individual, because the cups has to do with feelings and emotions and things like that. So how things make you feel, how thoughts are, coming in, and that type of thing. So when the King of Cups is in reverse, this is an individual who is not quite navigating the motions of their feelings and emotions and thoughts very well. This is someone who is maybe dealing with a lot, a lot of emotions coming in all at once, and you're in a sea. Like, look, literally the throne is sitting on top of the ocean, and you're just like, oh my gosh, in the upside down position, you're like, it's pulling me every which way, and I can't seem to, find my level, and that is indicative of that rockiness of feeling insecure in that way, or just overwhelmed with emotions, with feelings, and you're not quite navigating things too well. Maybe you've been getting a little too quick to anger, or maybe a little too quick to, seeing the negative in things. This is a card about, you might be feeling a little like moody, maybe you're having a lot of different emotions, and it's kind of hard for you to navigate. So it's kind of showing in your relationships, and other people are seeing it and picking up on it. And maybe it's about, something that's been causing you stress, something that has been giving you a lot of anxiety, and it's starting to show. It's starting to manifest in a very real way for you. So be kind to yourself. When you see this card in reverse, this is not a card about you need to control yourself. No, this is about a card that you need to be kind to yourself. You need to give yourself some grace, because we all go through this. And I know that, the first reaction a lot of us are taught to have, oh, you need to pull it together, pull yourself together. You need to, get it together. That's not how that's going to resolve itself. It's not. That's not going to work. Telling you right now, friend, you have to be willing to ride your feelings out. Be willing to sit in your feelings and figure out where they're coming from. Why do you feel this way? Why do you feel moody? Why do you feel irritated? And really get to the root of it, and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to move through those feelings so that you can get to calmer waters. That's the thing, is that the emotions, like, that's why the cups is a very great signifier of emotions and feelings and thoughts, because it doesn't matter what you do, you will always be in the water. That's the thing about the cups, is that you're always moving through the water, whether it be the water is in your cup, you're sitting on top of the water, in this situation with the King of Cups, there is always going to be that fluidity that comes with emotions, and trying to remove yourself from that is absolutely asinine. You have to understand that fluidity is part of emotions. It is just the way it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be willing to navigate it, and rather than trying to get off the ocean, out the water, away from the water, realize that the water is always going to be there, and learn to become a sailor. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope that you hit that notification bell so that you can get these monthly and subscribe. I really do hope that October is a good month for you, and that I'll see you back really soon. Thanks. Bye.